Welcome back to Mrs. Johnson's Kitchen. I am going to show you today how to make grilled cheese. So we're going to make grilled cheese. It's a great easy thing for lunch. There's a lot of different ways you can make it. You could do it on a stovetop. You could do it in a microwave. I've seen somewhere you can do it in a toaster. We're just going to do stovetop, the normal way you'd make it. So first, I'm going to gather my materials in my kitchen. I'm going to show you where I find them in my kitchen. You can pause the video then and go find them in yours so you can make it with me. So our first thing we need is a plate. I'm going to scoot you over here to my plates in my cabinet. I'm just going to get a little plate because it's just for a sandwich here. The next thing that we will need is a knife. So this is a butter knife that you'll need. So I'm going to get my silverware drawer here. You can see, maybe you can see it. Here's my knife in my silverware drawer. The next thing that you will need is a pan. So I have my pan already out, just a little one. It's not huge because you're just making a sandwich in it. You'll need a spatula. This is for flipping the grilled cheese. So over here I keep mine in like a utensil holder out on the counter. So I've got my spatula I'm going to put over here. Okay. The next thing you'll need is butter. While I'm looking at my materials list, I noticed there's also cheese in here that I'm going to grab both of those from the fridge. So I'm going to get spreadable butter and some cheese from my fridge. Okay, so I have my butter and my cheese. I like mine extra cheesy, so I'm going to do 2 slices of cheese. It's up to you. Now we need bread, 2 pieces of bread. My bread, I keep it out on my counter space, kind of with other bread stuff, some fresh veggies. I'm just going to get out 2 slices, put it on my plate. Close my bread up really good so that it doesn't go bad. All right. And then the last thing that we'll need is a stovetop. So I've got mine right here where we're going to cook. Let me turn the light on so you might be able to see it a little more. You like my little salt and pepper shakers? They're little cows. I got them for Christmas one year. They're little tiny cows. They're salt and pepper shakers. They sit on the top of my stove. All right. So step 1, we are going to gather our materials. I just did that, so why don't you guys pause the video here and go get your things. I'll hold up this list so you can see it. All right. Now if you have your materials, step 2, we're going to put butter on one side of each piece of bread, okay? Let me get myself situated here. So we are putting butter on one side of each piece of bread. So I've got my butter, my bread here. Open the butter. And this is what you'll need this butter knife for, okay? So I'm going to pick up my piece and spread butter only on one side. You don't want it on both sides of each piece. This butter is put on to help it get that grilled kind of crunchy texture on the outside. So there's one piece that has butter on it. Here's my next piece. I'm going to try to spread it out as much as I can. I don't put a lot on my knife because I don't want too much on there, because you can always go back for more, but it's kind of hard to get bread back off or butter off of the bread if you put too much on. All right. So I've got my 2 pieces of bread that have butter on them. So that was step 2. The next step is to turn the stovetop burner to medium heat and then put the pan on the stove. So I'm going to take you over to my stovetop here. I've got my pan. I'm going to look up here to make sure it's the right burner, and then I'm going to turn it to medium. You can see mine starts to turn red when it's getting hot. So I'm going to put my pan on there so that my pan can get hot. Okay. That was step 3. The next step is to put 1 piece of bread butter side down onto the pan. So I have my bread. See, this is the butter side. I'm going to take you over there and show you how I put it in the pan. Make sure this side with the butter is on the pan. Don't touch the pan because it could be hot already. I'm going to put butter side down on my pan. Okay, The next step is to put our cheese onto the piece of bread that is in the pan. So I'm going to open the cheese. You can use any kind of cheese. This is just some Kraft good melty cheese that's out there. Okay, so I put my cheese on my bread. Okay. The next step that we have is to put the other piece of bread, butter side up, on top of the slice and the cheese that's in the pan already. So I'm going to grab my other piece. You can see it's got butter on it. I'm going to keep this butter side up because when I flip it, I want it to get grilled also. So I'm going to set it on top of that other piece. So it officially looks like a full sandwich now. So I'm going to check the bread that's face down in the pan with the spatula, but I'm going to wait for it to be golden brown. You can do this to your liking, however you like your sandwiches to look. But I'm going to take my spatula here, going to kind of scoot it underneath my sandwich and look at it. And it's not quite brown yet. So I'm going to pause my video, let this cook, and then we'll come back before I flip it so you can see how I flip it over. So I'm going to let this cook for a minute. Alright, so I'm going to show you. I'm going to get my spatula under here. Try to show you. When I look at it, you see how it's kind of brown? So I'm ready to flip it. So I get my spatula under it completely. And then I'm going to flip it into the stove. Now I'm going to pause it and let this other side cook. Okay, so we just did step 8. So once it was golden brown to how we liked it, we flipped our sandwich over using the spatula. And now I'm going to pause and let step 9 happen. So we're going to let the new face side down of bread get golden brown to our liking, okay? So I'll pause it and we'll come back when it's ready. Alright, so this side went a little quicker because the pan was already really hot. So we're going to peek at it again. You see how it's golden brown. If you want it darker than that, you would just leave it on longer. But now I'm going to use my spatula to pick it up again. I'm going to bring my plate over and put it onto my plate so it's ready to eat. Okay, so that was step 10. When both sides look finished, we're going to use the spatula, take it out of the pan, put it onto our plate. And this is the most important step, everyone. Turn the stove top off and enjoy your sandwich. So what I like to do, if I'm cooking and the pan is still hot, I like to remove it from that burner that was hot. And then I'm going to come up here and turn it to off. Okay, this red light on my stove lets me know that it's still hot. So if I'm doing anything else, I will be sure to avoid using that or touching it with my bare hands. So there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoy your grilled cheese. Let me know if you made one and how it turns out. See ya.